just was able to hang out and scout baseball. So we got GS for Goldman Sachs. Let me write that down. And that's JR for president. Okay, we'll go GS first. And but during the process when I first started scouting, I mean, I had always been into stocks, never into options, but I always was a long-term investor and looking for, you know, ways to buy and hold and keep it. And then I got into options probably 2005. Just I was young and I caught a system really well. And but initially everybody starts out, man, with penny stocks, and that was like my first thing. I would buy those newsletters, and they give me the breakdown. Hey, you can get a penny stock, uh, save your money. It's only 4 cents, and it's a biotech stock, and they're in phase 3 of liver psoriasis trials to stop cirrhosis of the liver. Buy it now. I put $250 in there. I'm thinking I can getting it for a penny, and I'm getting what 250,000 or however many shares I'm getting. If it goes up 25 cents, that's a wrap. Well, it was already a wrap because I mean, either it would go up and I couldn't get out in time. There wasn't enough liquidity, or I missed the move. And that's why I don't really mess with penny stocks. They're a gamble. You can roll the dice, but don't allocate your entire portfolio to penny stocks for that the quick move. But there is a strategy, there is a way. But let's do this. Let's take a look at Goldman Sachs for JR. And JR, if you could let me know, is this for a long-term investment, short-term? Are we looking? You want to look for an options trade on it? Um, if you can unmute, you should be able to unmute, or you want to put it in the chat bar. Just let me know.
Yeah, I have it long term, and I'm doing some covered calls.
Oh boy, yeah. Okay. So you're looking for the range. It's in a range right now. So you're pretty familiar with how options work, I guess. If you're doing covered calls and you have 100 shares of you know of the company. So how long have you owned it?
I had it for a couple of years.
Nice, man. Okay, well, right now what I see on let's go to the weekly. I start off with the weekly. I'm on Thinkorswim, which is TD Ameritrade. Of course, over the last, let me lower this down a little bit. Let's give it a little room. And Corona kind of corrupted a lot of charts. But I'm a technical trader, but I also pay attention to fundamentals from the standpoint of any news items. I like news catalysts, but right now we're on a bullish move. But it's coming to that situation right now where we're in somewhat of a trading range, and that kind of works for your covered calls. It also protects, the covered calls are going to protect you against any drawdowns. It'll pay you out. What I see right now, and I've marked up Goldman Sachs from years ago. I see a little range. It's currently range bound, and we'll go from here. And let me go to the daily and really mark this up. Yeah, we'll get in here. It's on a bullish move, like overall, but currently for the last since June, it's been range bound. And when I say that, um, I'm pretty sure you're familiar with that. Even if I wanted to go further with the range, I'm just looking at this area right here, where it stopped at the levels of like 215.83, sold off, found support, ran up a little higher, but it's really been hanging in these ranges right here. Um, so we're looking at a bounce off of support. If there's a chance if it goes any lower, you're going to find support at 194. But I see a possible bullish move right now on that. What would you like to know? What else regarding Goldman?
Well, I was a little concerned since Warren Buffett sold the stock. but I
Right.
had it long term and I did the research, and it seems to be one of the better banks to own. And banks will eventually come back, and they tend to have some of the brighter financial folks at Goldman Sachs.
Okay. Yeah. I tell you what. Let me go to this screen right here. I'll pull up. I use Investors Business Daily as one of my sources of research, and I use the paid service, and you can pull up just a breakdown on any stock that's traded. And currently, the composite rating is not the highest, but within its sector, it's ranked third behind Morgan Stanley, and I will pull up the other one. But accumulation distribution is a green light. It's in the C range. Uh, you know, off of the chart, there's nothing negative that I see. I mean, just scanning it right now. Uh, Market cap is strong. I don't really dive into fundamentals, but I like looking at the checklist, and I see three red lights. It's slightly negative, but the thing about Goldman Sachs is what you're saying is a long-term buy and hold. So um, if if I was looking at a trend like the Corona trend right now, that would scare me. If we were looking at something like what the regional banks have gone through, um, let's see, I'm gonna pull up just a chart for you to kind of give you a comparison. But I think you're in good shape. It's been range bound for quite a while. A lot of the banks have been in that same situation. Let's see if I can. They're all kind of coming up. I'm just checking all the regional banks for you, man. And I don't think you're gonna see it. There we go. That's a trend. Ozarks. Ozarks is also a little bit range bound, but that trend has been like the bullish trend is not there. It's even a head and shoulders right now to where there's a chance Ozarks can go lower. So in comparison to yours with Ozarks and Goldman Sachs, you're still on this bullish trend. Um, I I say bullish overall. Um, just watch the range. If you break, there's an area that you need to pay attention to. There's a gap in price right here, and it occurred on May 22nd. Actually, that was Friday, so that Monday the 26th it gapped up. And there's an old saying that almost rings true. All gaps must be filled. So look for a possible pullback at some point in time to what was the high, 180.64. And but don't panic now. It there's several gaps on here, and if you're in this long term, it's part for the course to just deal with pullbacks and swings. If you see on this weekly chart over a 20-year period, there have been wild swings in the banking sector. Even dating back to '08, and then we can go back to '04 if I say '04, but 2000. So just be prepared for pullbacks, and if you're in it long term, you buy more with dollar cost average in. Uh, but I expect some type of a pullback at some point, which is it's just it comes with the territory. Uh, and I hope I helped you out a little bit, man, because I like the fact that you're selling covered calls. You don't see the chart. Gotcha. Thank you. Let's see. Let me show it. Thank you, Sean. Okay, here we go. You're there is a gap in price that you need to pay attention to, like I just said, and I didn't show it. At the 22nd of May, on the 26th, price gapped up. And so you'll look for that pullback to the high of 180.64, and you'll find, and there's buying pressure in this area. So if it does come back down here, expect buyers to be there. But if you fall below, the 168s, that range in there, and end up trying to close this range down to the 158s, maybe reassess, look to see if there's any type of news, okay? But If you're long term, you're looking out 5, 10, 15 years. So, uh, does that make sense at all? What I'm saying?
Yes, it does.
You should, okay. Anything else, man? Or because since you're selling covered calls against it, if you're, I mean, you're going to pull in your premium if it falls below that certain level. So you're good to go, I believe, man. Is that something you regularly do?
No, I just started with covered calls. I've always did stocks, and then I kind of started dipping my feet into covered calls, so things I've already owned.
Okay, okay, that makes sense. And so, well, I would say continue to study because covered calls also support and resistance. Just basic support and resistance will be the are some keys to helping you pick up like that trend. You know, the range right here that it's in is something you can pick up with ease. You know, it won't take long to understand that. Um, well, I'll come back around to you if you have another one. We just put in the chat bar, or you guys can open up, or I'll jump on the one that I wanted to show everybody. Um, feel free. And that was J.R. Prez, right? Okay. Let's see here. Visa, similar to what J.R. put in the charts. I tracked Visa for several weeks, and it was range bound. Just and whenever you're in a trading range, people, it's easy to think the price is going to go up when it makes a run up, and then people will buy. You know, investors will buy, retail investors will buy, and it'll sell off. When it's selling off, people who just enjoy shorting, they'll short at the bottom of the range, and it'll find support. So the more days you have on your chart, that adds to your information pool, your database of information. So I saw that Visa was in that trading range. I was able to hop in once it broke above this level and held. I think I got in at like 203, ran to 215. I was out at like 210. But I bought options on that. And one of the things right now, Visa's setting up again, and Visa follows, it tends to follow MasterCard. So I'm looking for if Visa can get above 207.75, and that's the high 208.21. So I'm looking for an entry above 207.75, preferably above 208. If I get that entry properly, you know, my setup is there. I'll look for an option on Visa in this range right here because I like to try to get 30 days out. And we're looking at the options chain October 16th that my option would expire. I'm looking for a call option. That means I want the price to increase. I'm anticipating an increase in price based off of my charts. Now it hasn't set up yet, but one of the things I gravitate to, I look at open interest, but what I do not do, I don't go strictly for price. You know, people see 8 cents, 27 cents. Really, you multiply that by 100, so that's $27 for that option, 65 here. Well, the probability of this being profitable is lower than if you were to go with these are called in the money. That means you can buy that option and that you can immediately purchase this, you can exercise the option and sell that stock for a profit. That means you're in the money. So it's a little bit more intricate than that, but we can buy this option immediately and immediately flip it like flipping a house. You don't have to hold it to the end. So with Visa, once it hits its target or my entry, I would look at, you know, the 205 is comfortable for me. I don't want to go into the 1200, 1325s right now, but I look at Delta, I look at open interest, and of course I look at the bid and ask because the spread is important. If you buy an option and that spread is like, you know, so it's 630 by 680. That's 50-cent spread. That's really $50. So if I buy that option, and I'll end up paying $6.80 or $680. I can sell it for 630. So there's a $50 spread that I have to make up in price once you buy it. So you're immediately in the hole $50 when you hop into options with wide spreads. So be aware of that. Like up here, that's $54 by 56. That's the $200 spread off rip. So we pay attention to that. I pay attention to the spreads. I look at the open interest. I'm a delta trader, and volume is not as important, but it's something that I pay attention to as well. So Visa's on my list for this next week, guys. It's something to kind of pay attention to. If there's any other stock you want to look at, I'll keep going down my list, but just drop them in the chat bar or open your mic, ask a question. Um, let's go with the next one. Because there's some things setting up, guys. Like I know everyone looked at Snow, people looked at Kodak. Got excited about Kodak when it popped, but I was very cautious of Kodak because I'll show you on the chart what we have to be cautious of. Okay, Tasha, I'll take a look at Apple. But if you see on the chart, guys, when you see, if you ever use candlesticks, that's how, well, you don't have to use candlesticks, but I prefer candlesticks. And if you see a stock that runs straight up 90 degrees, that's called parabolic. That's a parabolic move, and it's an unsustainable move. But there's something called irrational exuberance, and it hits everybody. You know, you get a word like, "Hey guys, Kodak is moving. You heard about Kodak? Kodak is it," and word of mouth will pick up, and it will go through the chat rooms. It'll go through the Facebook groups. It'll go to the at the usher board meeting. Somebody will say, "Hey, Kodak, Kodak is my grandbaby is buying Kodak. Y'all need that kind of thing." So when you start hearing it in a lot of places and you see that chart going, it's unsustainable. If you're in, you get your money, you get out, because the next moves, I mean, not to say it's going to stop right then, but there's something else that I use. It's called the RSI, the Relative Strength Index. There's several other lower studies that you can use, like a MACD or a slow stochastics, but they all let you know when strength is leaving a stock, selling pressure is coming in, buying pressure is exiting. And I saw that. I didn't short Kodak at the time, but I shorted it the other day. And you could just see the pullbacks. And it happens with Genius. Everybody was hyped on Genius. And when people start telling you, oh man, their fall lineup is going to be great, they're going to go against the Comedy Network, or Cartoon Network, that's great. But and then they'll say, oh, they're manipulating the stock. Well, of course they're manipulating a $4 stock. I mean, anybody, not anybody, but I mean, you can get the Qs on the yard at Grambling can put enough money together to manipulate Genius. And you could see it went parabolic right here, and it did it again. You guys know, if you see this symbol, if you see these angles on your charts, take your money and go. I promise you, because you can't just keep going right here. You have to come back and breathe. I'm not saying it's just going to always go back, but you see a pattern, because the people who pump this stock, is called a pump and dump. Run straight up, get your money, and you better get out on the way out, or you short it. You can play both sides, but it's very risky. But you do it, it's the same pattern. Anyway, let me go to Apple, and then we'll go with Apple for Tasha Jordan.
I was in Kodak this morning as well, and as soon as it halted, I was waiting on that halt to stop so I could get on out.
Man, that I shorted once. Everybody, I start seeing people talk about Kodak, and that new news came. I was like, you know what? Let me see if there's an entry. Okay. All right, Apple. And someone in our group, Nikita, is short. She's short Apple right now. I don't really short the high flyers, but this is set up right now for a pure head and shoulders play. it, and yeah, I use patterns. I use a name, certain names. I mean, I could use this here for the left shoulder. That's the head. This could be the right shoulder, or this could be the left shoulder. You know, the whole side. So, and over here is our right shoulder. And it won't make sense to you right now, but Apple needs to find some level of support. Now, I love Apple long term, but Apple's got, oh my goodness. I'm not telling y'all to short this about puts on Apple, but I'm concerned about a pullback, you know, whether it's coming back into 110. There's another level that there's a, remember I was talking about gaps. I drew this gap out. What date was this? On the 27th? Well, no, I set it up. When did I draw? I didn't draw it in October, but anyway, I drew it recently, probably in July. But the gap was recent right here, so there's a chance we come back down into this range of that right at the $100 level, uh, 106. So if you're trying to go long Apple, if you're long term, you can buy it and hold it, and as it goes down, you can buy more, or you could wait and to see how we respond to because it had negative news, but they had, you know, they had new products coming out. So Apple is innovative. I'm long term bullish, but this chart is right now is a question. There's a concern. So I'm just going to wait to see if we break or if we hold support. Were you? That was Tasha that asked, I believe, asked about that. Would you like to know about the option, or are you looking for a long-term buy and hold, Tasha? Because the options on Apple are, you know, reasonably priced for the most part. Um, just let me know, but we'll look at the option. Okay, I think you put something in the chat. Short-term options trade, okay. Well, I can't say go long right now, and I don't want to put you in puts until you understand them. Um, let's just say Apple goes down and finds support where we like it. If I was looking at Apple, remember we were looking at the spreads. It was 50 cents on that one on Visa. Well, it's only 10 cents on Apple. That's what I like. That's a tight spread. The market maker doesn't. He can't trick us. He can't beat us. You know, for 10 cents, he can't. You really can't split that. So my comfort level with Apple, you know, the furthest I would go right now is at 115 strike. Now, what you're going to start doing, everybody drifts down here. They start drifting into the, you know what, I got about $135. Let me put save that $135 and don't risk it just because that option is cheap. Because what you look on this column right here, that delta, the delta is something that it controls how your option moves, in you know, in correlation to the stock. The stock is called the underlying, and your option is the option premium is tied to that stock price. So if the Apple goes up from 112 to 113, your option doesn't go up from 260, 273 to 274. It's going to go up by 31 cents. That delta correlates to per dollar move correlates to what your option will move. So if Apple's option moves $1, you have a 31 delta. In theory, your option will move up 31 cents. Now the delta is a living entity, and it will adjust up and down. So as the option price goes up in price, or as the stock goes up in price, a lot of times your delta will move there. Now these are called the Greeks. That's something that we study as well. But if you look, open interest is like 41,000, 61,000. People are going to be eating these up. And yeah, in 30 days, it may go up to 125. but there's also a chance in 30 days that, you know, Apple could go down to 110, 105, 108. You know, maybe I'm not going to say 90, but so we need to see something in this chart to tell us, hey, to get in, like where we would hop in, that gap up, I would have hopped in there. Only move I would have hopped in on is right here. That pull that there, then we had some follow through, and I would have probably been out unless I was in just a longer term option. So Apple has not established a trend right now. That's the trend. We missed it for now. Now, if you're a long-term buy and hold, you buy and hold and just because I have shares right now in this account, just small amounts. This is my Roth. You know, it's down $11 on the day, but who cares? This is a long-term. You know, little chunks here and there. So let's hold off on that. There's nothing I could recommend you to do with Apple right now, other than for if you're buying and holding the stock long term. Let me grab Nicola for Tyrese. Hey Tyrese, how you doing? And the phones will be ready in 2 or 3 second or third week in October in that 5G. So that's going to be Mo Parks put that in there. That's going to be important. So that second week in October is that's going to be something. So let's just see how this thing trends. I really feel we're going to come back in this area. Sniff 100, maybe 104. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm holding off unless I buy shares. All right, let's go Nicola. I'm short Nicola right now. Tyrese, what are you looking for it? Long, short, long term, stock option? Okay. Hey. What we have, Tyrese, you want to look for Nicola because my son was in at 17, and when it ran up to like 60 something, I told him, "Hey man, take your money out,
Can you
your
hear me?
seat." Yeah, I can hear you now. There we go.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
You said
the
long
stock.
term.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't. I'm cautious about it right now. You're gonna have to go with your with your heart on this one
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm-hmm.
I do not. And then I go with eye test and the chart. I made money the other day on this short. It popped on recovery, but they're in some turmoil. I like
Yes.
this. I like the CIO. I think Urban, but I'm not a fan of the CEO. He's the hype man, Middleton.
Yeah.
So they need to get out of that they have to shake the public perception of fraud right now. So
Right.
DOJ and the SEC are investigating them, and the line in the sand is like that 28.83. If it falls below that, it has a chance to really tumble. But if they can push up, which they have a chance over the next couple of days, they can push above that, that 34.50 area and get to 35. There's a chance it might be some bullish moves. But oh man, I'll look at I think if you go with Nikola, and I think you're pretty good at going out with some distance, with some time. Were you going to look further out with the expirations? Because if you look down at the put call ratio, it's almost 50-50. People are flipping that coin.
Mm.
Every Everybody's like, okay, we don't, and there's a lot of indecision. You can see it right in the charts when it kind of trades sideways. Like everybody knew what was going on here. Everybody wanted to get in, irrational exuberance. I said the usher board meeting, deaconesses were talking about it. And then pastor said something, said, I don't know. And that it went parabolic. And, a lot of things go parabolic. It doesn't mean that they're just going to go straight down. And it did exactly what it's supposed to do. It did the trading range. And then, regardless of what the noise was, a line of dojis and the sell-off found support and the gap down. So this chart is scary, but it found support. So
It's definitely scary. It's been up and down all summer. And the CEO, he is seems to be the culprit.
I like the CIO though.
uh,
He's the one that's going to be able to get them out of this with what he said is that everyone is focused on the truck, but the
right.
truck isn't the
Go.
IP. It's
Right.
the
That's not the goal.
it's the fuel, the hydrogen, uh, the technology that they have. So that that I liked hearing him say that. So if you feel, you have to go with your gut on that with the stock long term buy and hold. Um, but just watch these levels at 28.83.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
really something I keep.
Definitely got our eye on them.
Okay, okay. I hope I helped a little bit, but that, you
Yes,
know,
sir.
uh, tomorrow I think we're gonna know because it was doing some things after the after hours or kind of like it was just waiting. So news is going to be the key to this stock right now, and it needs some good news. So
Yes, absolutely it does. Trevor has been constantly caught in a whole bunch of lies, like, with them having to push the truck
yeah, rolled it down the
downhill,
hill a little bit.
down the hill and everything.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's rough. I got out 2 days before everything hit, and I've
good.
been shorting them ever since.
Really? Oh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I'm in puts, and I'm I'm probably gonna get out because even in the put side, it's not like it's a linear move. It's gonna be no. We didn't say that. And then GM is sticking in there, and the other
Yeah.
investors are sticking in there. They're
Yeah,
good,
and the
but
So
CEO
far,
bought more stock to
huh?
try to make it. The CEO bought more stock
yeah,
trying to,
Trevor.
make sure he shows that he believes in the company. But,
Yeah. Just as
know,
long as he doesn't do what the guy from WeChat did, where he cashed out all his money and left. Just like and just
Well,
dude just disappeared. But I'm
we don't
yeah,
know if GM we don't.
that's the
I mean,
key.
GM is backing them right now, but we don't know if they're gonna stick.
That's if they don't, if GM said they vetted him, but they have a lot of money at stake, so they have to show positive face to the public. Uh,
right.
but
I'm
if
sure GM has heard all the noise from the summer because there was a lot of noise or a lot of news and many
right,
going against the CEO even over the summer,
see, I didn't know that. I just knew that it's that new technology, and I have no problem with disruptors, but
Right.
but that chart, the initial chart, I told my son, just take your money out, take your seed money, and let the other money play with house money. And when it started rolling over, and you started getting that anytime the SEC or a congressional hearing, I'm like, hey man, go ahead and take your profits, and just we can always get back in. That's one of the things that I always like. It's not like you can't re-enter. It's so just to protect it. But if it's a long-term buy and hold, make your move and feel confident about it. But that 28.83 in that range, 28.80, see how it acts when it
Hmm.
gets down there. Because if it falls below that level, it could pour, and that means some news is coming. So
Trevor just need to get off of Twitter. He
stop
needs to
and
ban
quit
him
and
from
don't put the
Twitter.
videos and call out Kathy Wood. Don't just. But one more thing, the fact that you had Andrew left, then you had the guys from Hindenburg, the activist investors putting the
Hmm.
short hits out. Now, when they claim certain things, they're at risk of having libelous statements, so they know the risk of making those statements. They'll get sued if they can't support their statements. That's what concerns me. You know, so I just need to see what the response is. Um, well, let's jump on FISV serve for Kylan. Hey, I know you're looking long. You always call. You always have a good setup, man. I think it's at a little resistance. If it breaks above these levels, that new high, because it popped a nice 3-pin reversal right here. This is where the entry should have been. Are you in it now?
It just caught my attention, man. I'm just trying to see what it's gonna do. Is it gonna
it, it needs to make a decision because it's coming right up to resistance. It's in the trading range. But again, that was our entry right here. That boom, not that day, but Mo would take the move on a hammer. Yeah, we could have caught that hammer, eh, the high right here, or really that next day opened above, bam, bam, and now it's at resistance. If it breaks above, what's the high here? 103.35 and holds like like an afternoon play, 103.60. After lunch, let's see, let's go 103.60 will be the target area. Let me write that down so y'all can hold me to it. We come back and say, dude said, okay, so we got, what else? FISV. What do they do, Kyle? I need to look that up, though.
Banking, like banking technologies.
Okay. FinTech, I'll take it. 102.26 right now. And long above 103.60 in the afternoon. And look for the option of, and I know you have an options play in your pocket, man. Let's go 30 days out. Let's see. I like that. I like the October 16th, 30. Guys, I don't go out of the money that much. I'm not. And remember, if you start seeing these prices get cheaper, like, oh man, 35 bucks. Yeah, that's nothing. I throw 35 bucks, at the movies, at the drive-in now. Y'all folks go to drive-ins now anyway, but don't just do that. You got to start looking at open interest. This is one strike out of the money, and it's not that far. You have 30 days. If it breaks above that, that's the wrong chart.
That's the wrong one.
But that would be great. Let me get FISV. Let me see how they look now. I like it. 100. There it is right there, Colin. These two, the 100 and 105. The 40 delta, 5,000 open interest, 4,400 open interest, 61 delta, and your IVs in line too. Spread is tight. The 100 or the 105 are good ones, man. And it's a bullish put the call ratio. Everybody's bullish on that one. Nice play. Let's see what it does above 103, 60. A lot of times if it goes up, it'll go up and test and come back. So it might be a pump fake. You need it to hold above it so we don't go up and just sell right off. I mean, it's done it over here a couple of times already. Broke above it, sold off. Broke above it. And the next day, it opened up here and really sold off. So you need to see it above that level to confidently say it's going to continue. So you have good volume right now. So let's just see what it does, how it acts around there. Don't just hop into it, and tell me not to just hop into it because I get excited with it, man.
Oh yeah, I'm just watching it right now. I'm trying to see what my bias is gonna be.
Which are what? Oh yeah,
I'm trying to
okay.
see what my bias is gonna
Because
be.
I
And
mean,
see
it
how
could
it reacts
it could do
tomorrow.
just what it has done over here and get up here and sell off. But we need it to hold above it, guys. Let me check, see what else is out here for. Okay, Devon said AMD, JPM, NVIDIA, Mo Parks. Okay, I'm gonna come back to Devon. I think Devon might have. No, we go Devon now. Yeah, let's go AMD. And AMD has been trending. The thing about AMD, it likes to fill gaps when everybody gets excited about it. When you think it's time to keep running up, let me remove all these price levels for y'all real quick. And guys, thank y'all for coming. I'll put my email address. I think I put it in the chat bar. This is a support level right here. But for AMD right now, man, it's a head and shoulders on the daily. That's our head. And that's a bearish move. I'm not saying long term because we're long term bullish. AMD in this house. This is an AMD household. But this area is the right shoulder. That's the head, left shoulder. And my neckline goes right across here. If it breaks that neckline, we can expect to see a closing of this gap right here, the fill of the gap down to the near of like 69, 82 or 70. But if, it could easily find support. And guys, look, I can't predict the price. Like say it will be this price, but I'm telling you the probabilities. And after hours, it's at 77.10, 77.05. So the high of today was 79.72. The only way I'm going long is if we can get above 80, and I'll look for something. But long term, I'll buy the shares, but I'm expecting that pullback on AMD, so I'm really on the sidelines. And the options are never really pricey for AMD. So you can go your 30 days out. Don't try to go 2 days out unless you are just a boss and ready to hop in and hop out. But 30 days out gives you time. And we're looking even out of the money a little bit is pretty solid. The lowest I would go is that $80 call. But you need to wait, man. Unless if it breaks above like 78, you can feel good about trying to test it. Okay? But be careful. And this comes from somebody who loves AMD. And okay, let's see one more thing here. Got in at 80.73 on shares. Okay. Well, look, man. Yeah, if it does sell off and pull back, as if it's a long-term buy and hold, Devon, you look at it as a discount because you go out. Let's just do the 20-year chart monthly. Now it's parabolic right now because it made one of those big moves. But when you go up like that, a lot of times you'll come back and then you start going into a trading range. That's a good buy, man. It went up and it exhausted itself, and now it needs to kind of correct and come back into comfort zone. Because if you guys remember, we looked at Visa for and saw that trading range. Then you finally have the breakout. All your trading ranges do this, and they go up and then they come back. But you catch the breakout if you're trading them. Like look at Penn, look at the casinos, and let's go to the daily. You will find a trading range. Then you have your breakout, test, and pop. You can pretty much, you can go DraftKings, DKNG, had a wedge break. Tight trading range, but had a wedge breakout. And when it, like I said, Kylan, and if it breaks above a certain level, a lot of times it comes back and tests where it broke. It's like it broke out, ran away from home, left his PS4 at the house. I got to sneak back in to get it. All right, I'm good. Boom, let's go. Let's run. And then find out you don't have enough money to hang out up here, so we have to just hang it. I'm kind of correlating it, and the volume was strong, and that entire sector broke out. So that's
really?
Huh?
No, I'm laughing at you. At your example.
It's just, you break out and you're like, you know what? Did I bring my toys? I tried to run away one time, but I had to get a couple of my army men. I just can't leave without taking the essentials, and that's how I look at it, because you break out of a certain area, out of a range, or out of a pattern, and buyers get there, and it's people will take profit. It'll come back and still be attractive, and you're still moving, and it's really a bullish move. Let me do something else real quick and check the. So we got AMD. How would you short BBB? While I'm gonna go Let me go PACB for Mo Parks. I think we were looking at PACB. Wow. Okay. Perfect example of a gap fill. Talk about whoever was in here at $3. Whoever's in that at $3, That's a serious gap, but you, a lot of times, man, you get that gap at one level, it will come back and rectify where there's like it's like it looks awkward, no price action occurs. Price tends to come back down and clean that up, and it's done that. So I don't really do penny stocks, but the biotech penny stocks have a way of doing things. Let's see what kind of volume. A lot of volume, million was five. Okay. Yeah, man, this is parabolic. It's overbought, uh, but it has some serious volume. It's one of those things where it's running, and you're like, oh man, when is it time to short this thing? When is it time? But it has so much momentum and volume, it could continue to run. Uh, it's a tough play, tough call on this one right here. I for me, I couldn't get into it because I missed the move. Now, if I like the company and want to buy, sure, I'd buy some shares, but there is a gap that's going to be rectified at some point. It might not happen this year. It may happen at some point in time, but if it does pull back into here, it might hunt to close this gap. And I'm sure you know that Mo Parks on that one. So, are you looking for options or just a pure stock play?
Pure stock play. I'm seeing other people accumulate big chunks of it over the last couple of months.
Let's see that bought right here.
Dollar
20.
cost averaging into it. Just
Yeah,
keep on
man.
buying a few here and there for $7, $10.
Yeah,
I'll spend $10, $20 on some
here
bad
and there.
food.
Yeah, right. Well, that's 20 million shares right there that day. And it's before that it was like 949,000. So you're right about that. You're picking up on the heavy volume pickup. Somebody is jumping in it. 6 million shares. The day before that was two.
There's a company out there, Grayscale is buying it all up.
Great call. If that's the case, man, well, y'all do your due diligence on this one, and let's go right here. Let me pull up the screen on Investors Business Daily.
It's called ARC.
That's my
Grayscale.
group, man.
Yeah, that's what I look at ARC every day. I get the call, everything that they buying, and they buy like
She
400,000
did mention
shares.
that, didn't she? Kathy Wood. Okay.
Kathy
Great.
Wood, yeah.
Great call, man. All right, guys. Y'all thank Mo Parks for that. That's that. We got to give Mo Parks a shout out on. Let me write PACB down for Mo Parks. That uh and anytime and it's spelled Cathie Wood. That she's the CEO of ARK Invest. They have a suite of ETFs.
Yep.
Not ranked, but the accumulation distribution is an A plus. That means a lot of people are diving into this. The DNA test. Anytime they're doing DNA testing, editing, gene editing, those are becoming key stocks. What is the title for this one? Medical Systems Equipment Group developed an integrated platform which records single molecule events in real time for gene editing, genetic analysis. Big area. Hmm. And
Man,
it's an investment bank is backing it as well at the price that it was at, and it was down. Yeah, dog. Good call,
I
man.
yeah, I was just looking at it every day. I analyze what stuff and all they're like they got 5 major ETFs, you know,
That have
and I
been
look at this.
accumulating.
Man, every day, 50,000, 100,000. Like one day I think on September 3rd, I believe, somewhere on there. I was just looking at it. I think they bought 440,000 shares.
Okay, y'all. Now look, one thing we look at right here too. I pay attention to overbought status on the RSI. Let's see what the last 4 hours were of the overbought as well. I think we're gonna get a little pullback, but
We can't see your
I did
charts.
it again, didn't I? Good. Didn't I do it again? Thank you. Was that Sean that said that? Who was that said that? That told me we couldn't see my charts.
It was Sean.
Oh, thank you, Sean. Thank you for keeping me locked in. Okay. under $10, but there's a caveat. When there's someone that I trust, that I follow, that really hops into it, I'm good with buying long-term buy and hold on Pacific Bioscience. Vet them out, do your due diligence. Uh, they're on my list right now, guys. And I keep baskets of stocks. That's what we have to do. You keep a basket of stocks to where you can just kind of go through and pay attention to it. And one of the things that I just got into is ARKK. That's Kathy Wood, the same thing that most talking about, ARK Invest. Well, they have a bunch of different ETFs that cover a range of different sectors and industries. So do your research on that, guys. And hey, Mo, I appreciate you on that one, man. Yeah,
Hey, no problem, man.
Yeah,
They sent out something. They sent out something to everybody about why they're getting out of
Nicola.
fiat currency.
Oh, she's big on Bitcoin.
Hey, they have their ETF because they're grayscale, right? So she sent out they sent out something saying, hey, you know what? Fiat currency have failed us. This is why we're directing our people, our clients to Bitcoin. I I was like, I can't believe they sent out that email.
Wow.
Yeah, that sent out the email about 2 weeks ago.
Let me pull up ARK Invest for everybody real quick.
And just break down their portfolio. Get on their marketing thing, and they'll send you out everything that they buy. They've been buying for the last month. They've been buying nothing but Nintendo as well.
Dog, you all up in here. I like this. Let me share this right here.
Another
Okay,
ARK fan. That's good.
Is that Robin?
Yeah.
Hey, Robin, how you doing?
Good. How was you making it?
You know what we're talking about, right? We're talking about
I'm here
ARK Invest.
listening. I'm listening.
That's
that email I sent you, that's what Maurice is talking about.
I got it. Thank you.
Yeah. He's
hey,
not.
Tasha, there's the link to ARK Invest. That's the website on the screen right here. You can just, I mean, you're gonna go down a wormhole, a rabbit hole, whatever, because it's a lot to. That's your favorite part. Robin likes 3D, loves 3D printing, the innovation of that. But they're big on disruption, man. And I'm big on anytime somebody gets mad about investing, it's like, oh, you're gonna get in that. It might be time to buy a little bit more, so stay with us tonight, Mo. Let me ask some more, answer something for Sean right quick. Got a bull flag for on a form merger 2 corp. What is this one, Sean? It's a SPAC?
FMCI, that's the one that we were talking about that was like the Beyond Meat, but I think they also been bought out by ARK as well.
I bet. This is
Beyond Meat.
ARK is vicious.
No,
this company.
not Beyond. It's kind of like their competition in a sense.
Okay, let me try to pull up FMCI.
When you pull up the ARK, when you go to their website, you can click on every one of their ETFs and look at the holdings. Click on holdings for like ARKK, and it'll show you all the companies that they bought shares from. It'll show you the top 10, the main ones, but some of them have like 40 and 50 different companies. So,
here we go. This is a SPAC. Blank check company formed to acquire or merge with one or more target businesses. Okay.
Yeah, they're actually going to drop their merger date soon with a, what is it, DEFMA 14 or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's supposed to happen this week. It's a little late, but
FMCI.
we're waiting on it.
Okay.
It may go crazy here in the next couple of days or next week.
Well, I know, guys, we're putting a lot on the plate tonight. This turned out to be this is a good call for me, but perform your due diligence. Let me make sure I got the right screen up again, which I don't. Bam, there we go. And it's setting up for a pennant right now. This is a bullish move, a little overbought, but the thing about it, companies with momentum and that are popular can remain overbought for long periods of time. But it's something I will watch. I don't know which way this is going to go right now. We have you have a wedge forming or a pennant forming right now. And when price consolidates right there, you start seeing price kind of stay within here. It's like it's coiling up and it's out of spring up, spring down a little bit and find support. But and that's the epitome of a pennant right there. And a lot of times it's a bullish move. It's a pennant, price consolidation, breakout. So keep your eyes on if it breaks above certain levels, maybe like 2603. And I know it's got a lot of good, a lot of bullish news on that. And you're getting the shares, right, Sean?
Yes, I actually have shares and calls.
You going
I'm a
out?
little deep
You
in.
doubling down on it? Okay.
Yeah, I'm all in.
Let me see.
And we're looking for 30 right now because
Oh,
we
it's
looking for this information to come out
bullish.
this week.
Okay, guys, everybody, you do your research and look for 30 days out. Price isn't crazy. $30 handle is pretty good. 2482 open interest. You got 19. If you Now look, if you take your chance on options, guys, you have to set your stops. If you buy, like, let me click on it right here. I click on this. Let's say I want to buy that call. Say I bought it at $3.70, and I want to risk just $70 of that. The next move for me would be I own the contract. It expires on October 16th, but I'll go in here and set a stop, and I'll move my stop to $3, and I'll set it good till canceled until I say it's done. So that's how you can establish. Now it might not close at $3. It might be $2.80. There's a little slippage sometimes, or it'll stop at 305. But you're protecting your investment to where you're not just out there, you know, wide open. So the idea is you have you have your risk versus reward, or you have your risk reward. It's money management, trade management. So we have to you get that 3 bar. You peep 3 bars, man. I like that. So if you get into an option, guys, I want you to not just pick options based on like, hey, this is cheap, this is cheap, or you get the one that's expiring in 2 days, and you say, let me spend 20 cents on that, which that's not. I mean, that's a big risk, but you got $20. I'm not gonna say.
Theta gang is gonna get you.
Yeah, Theta. I mean, and Theta isn't crazy, but it's gonna pop up on you, So you take your time and study the program, study your options, and read up on it. Let me do something else. I want to show y'all one more thing. Let's see if I got everybody. Dollar cost averaging on ARC. Nice move, Mo Park, man. I'm dollar cost averaging on ARKK. Let me see BBBY. Junior Prez looking for a short on that BBBY.
I'm so upset with them. I lost so much money on them.
But they said I was reading. They were saying that there's some life in them. They've done better than what everything is out there saying with Bed Bath and Beyond.
You know what's crazy, man?
Yeah, but they've been losing money for the past 4 years. So
I don't care about
pre-pandemic,
the losing
they've had.
money. Shoot, if it breaks above this, man, if you got 2 areas to go, it's in a range right now. Look, okay, look.
I lost money during earnings, and I was like, oh no.
Yeah, I can't do the earnings, man, unless I'm gonna do some intricate play right here. Okay, Junior. If it falls below, because right now it's at resistance, and so let's say you could enter. What's the low right there? The low is 1254. If it falls below 1254, and really let it go below 1250, because that $half mark, and does it in the afternoon, you could start looking at your puts, because we're at the top of a trading range. Now again, these aren't like buy, sell, or hold recommendations where you know put the diaper money on the line, and the braces money for the baby, to get the extra teeth fixed. But it is something that you do your due diligence, and the put. Let's see what the put call is, man. People are actually trying to get bullish on this, man. With the exception of the really low deltas, but if it falls below, you can catch a whammy on it, man. At 13, it's gonna be your best option. That $15 put, 274 by 296. You got a strong delta, plenty of open interest. You go 13 or 15. All right, those are the two that play. I like the 248 volume on there. Now the IV's high. If that IV just dissipates some kind of way, I don't know when option. Have they had earnings? That's what you want to pay attention to. If earnings are coming up, I'm pretty sure they've had earnings. But we're in this range. If it breaks above this, it could take off to. It could take off and fill this gap, man, up to 14. So, but I think we're at resistance, and we could see, what did it close? 1283. Look for something to see what it does in the afternoon, man. Because, and also the last thing you want to look at, you got to know how far it moves within the day, guys. Y'all can write this down. You can study this ATR. I mean, ATR, average true range,
Yep,
because
absolutely.
it'll tell you on average, not a guarantee, but on average, like over the last 14 days, give or take, how far that price ranges in a day. And this has only moved 70 cents. So you're gonna be waiting a little bit in there. And so if you go out of the money, you might get caught, you might get hung out to dry. So hope that helps you, man.
Yeah, just know pre-market. If you already see it's up that much, that move might be done.
Yeah, and Tyrese already hopped in at rock bottom. Nice move, Tyrese. Tyrese will catch. You like to catch him on the bottom on the way up and rebuild. It's rebuilding our kings in the community. Brothers. We've been a little damaged, and I need a sister to stand by. Anyway, okay, we got see what else we have on there. I want to show y'all one more thing. I got caught in Tesla. I don't ever short Tesla. But that last week trapped me a little bit. But that sucker broke out. I've been making some nice licks since June on this one, but I got caught in it. Finally recovered. I gave back about 700, but I got back 9. And then I went back in. But right now we're at a point where Tesla might pull back. Just a little bit, not to short, but try to give us another entry. So I'm watching Tesla. Hadn't decided what I'm gonna do, but let's see the
And
last
not
thing.
to mention,
Go ahead.
battery day is coming up.
The 25th or something like that.
I think
That's
it's the 22nd.
it's coming up. Yeah, great call, Sean. Because anytime and people say, "Isn't Tesla all hype?" Well, I mean, we're looking at price action. I don't care what it takes to, if I have to ride a miniature donkey, man, through the city to get everybody excited about, about living, and let me get on that donkey, man, or just whatever it takes. So Musk is Walt Disney or I don't know, dude to dude. And if people talk about him, you can talk about somebody so much, but the guy is producing for that company. And there's something that I spotted today. There's a gap fill possibly coming in the area. I don't know if you guys follow Tesla like that, but there was the level of 420 is that number had significance because they were going to take the company public at private at 420, and the high of this is 420. So there's a gap fill right there at 420. So I think there's some not dude isn't magic. He can't just create that, but a lot of things that he's done, it triggered a 420 thing recently on Twitter. So I'm watching this
Hmm.
level, that 420 level, guys. Look for a pullback. That sucker hits 420, man. I might go long. I might go off in a millennial chat room that are looking for investing in cannabis and see what they say about it. Because I have a feeling that they spotted that. Your club got in at 366. Oh, beautiful, man. Great move right there, dude. Yeah, and thank you, Prez. September 22nd, Battery Day. Well, guys, look, we came on at 6. Yeah, it's been an hour. Jet. I'm gonna give y'all this one right. 2 more things real quick. Look at Snap. It hadn't set up like I wanted it. Remember I was talking about trading ranges? We had head and shoulders over here, so it sold off in the head and shoulders. Bam, trading range. Fine. Really it could be a base breakout, but I call it a trading range. It broke out, got up there, but what I want to show you is they talk about options open interest, and unusual open interest is something that people have websites for, and they spend a lot of money paying attention. But look at this price right here, the October 16th $21 call. It's a $410 by 420. Spread is tight, but we were looking at 1,000 open interest, 4,000. It's 138,000 open contracts in this particular call option. 30 days to expiration. You're already in the money. Not recommending it to say, hey, get it, but pay attention to that because we don't know if they're, just because it's 138,000 doesn't mean it's gonna keep going bullishly. But there are 138,000 open contracts. If you keep looking at these, if you study open interest, you'll see open interest of 448, 757. This is an anomaly. So I always pay attention to anomalies. I didn't get in this, but it's something I want to just bring attention to you guys too. And the last one for the night, jets. The airline industry, one thing that I'm saying that the bailout is, they need bailouts by October. A lot of jobs are on the line. But the thing is, we have a breakout above this level and it's holding above it. So the high is 19.14 and we're close to $19. And actually it showed 19.14 in after hours. I'm bullish on this. Let's see if in the afternoon, if it stays above this little area, $19, you can find a really reasonably priced call on jets. You have to do your own due diligence, guys. And you try to go out with some distance. 30 days is a solid minimum. Don't start going down here. Don't just $15, $25 talk yourself out of it. You start, if you don't have $125, to get in, and it's time to just hold off and stack and put them, put the money under the bed, put it in the sock, then you put it under the bed. Anyway,
if I do go out of the money, I do the most out of the money with the most volume. So
okay, I like
with
that.
It will be that 6,500.
And see, okay, here's something that if it's a high flyer, like what Sean was saying, my caveat is like if I go with Tesla and I go out of the money, my delta has to be in that 25, 29 range, because a lot of times that Tesla price will be comfortable for me, and it moves. They move with the high volume, high ATR, high volatility player. But if it's like with BB, Bed Bath and Beyond, you get out of the money, you're gonna be stuck out of the money unless some anomaly, something, some major catalyst happens.
You're right.
Jets may have a catalyst, but I prefer it. 21 is not that far out of the money, and that delta could flip pretty quickly up to 40. So I prefer right here that 125, the $19 handle, or even go up in there and go to 18. Something to watch. Guys, let's see. Lockheed Martin. I saw their chart the other day, man, and it was running, and I just, from eyeballing it, it's in the trading range. Something's winding up. When I say that, when it's kind of winding up like that, what do you say?
No, I'm crying about this one.
And I had been in Lockheed for a long time, and I would hop out. So when you get above 400,
Leave. I'm listening to something.
At 402, what's the high? 402.38. This is a long-term buy and hold, man. A lot of people like Lockheed, and it has a history of that's a beautiful monthly chart.
Yes, and some nice dividends, but I had to get out of it to buy something else, and I'm like, I need to go back and buy my LMT.
Lockheed, man, it's been a runner for years, and in the aerospace side of their weapons, aerospace, they produce. So I'm comfortable with that buy and hold, but it's churning right now. Might be another breakout on the horizon. And I'm just using price action, guys, support and resistance. If you get above that at $475 range, you might be on a push, because there's another, kind of feel that gap. Yeah, man, I gotta sit and analyze Lockheed a little bit more. This thing is it's in a trading range, like I just drew up on a couple of other charts. Get you right there. So and guys, look, I mean, support and resistance is visual, but it's not like a concrete wall. It's there's anomalies. There's going to be poke through. It's more like a chain link fence. You can put your fingers through. You stick your foot underneath the fence, but you can't get through. You'll test a certain area and get, you find support. So you break above this. A lot of times it comes back. It'll test and then it'll go. So you need to see what it does once it gets out here. Did it leave his shoes at the house and go back? And the support, and what was resistance, when you break above it, it becomes support as you hope that it holds, and then it takes off. So look for a break above that support, above 401, and just see how it acts, man.
What about its brother, like RTX? I know we getting late.
No, but I like them. It's just,
oh Lord,
they pulled off a little bit different than they pulled it off. But the thing is, it's setting up, man. But we need to break out. I need the sucker to break out, because you can have a trading range. It doesn't have to go straight across.
It's not going nowhere near the bottom support of there, so it looks like it's going to break out.
I'd like for it to break out. I like RTX. I like all that sector, and if that breaks out, Boeing's gonna try to creep up, but Boeing just
Mm-hmm.
people just not giving that love. So I tell you, I, I like these guys, especially
Mm-hmm.
because when they merged with so Raytheon and what was that
Mm-hmm.
United Tech or something like that they merged with.
Right.
It seems like to me that intrinsic value that's just not showing up just yet, but we need to see a little bit of a reversal to begin. And this might be a time for share building, you know,
Yeah.
chip away at it and just do your research. You're good at research and have your program. But
If y'all good with Bitcoin and everything,
mm-hmm.
the little tidbit that I want to leave with everybody tonight is look at Riot.
Riot Games.
RIOT.
Yeah.
Riot blockchain.
Yeah.
It's been doing very well for me. I think I got in at like 78 cents or something like that. But, I know it's a penny stock, but it does pretty
good. The name
good.
blockchain in a thing is almost like in the .com. If you have .com during that era,
it runs with Bitcoin. So when Bitcoin is up, Riot is up as well.
Cool. Well, guys, do your research. Let me drop something in the chat. And I recorded this, so I'll put this in the Stock Scouts group on Facebook. And email me if you want me to tag you in it. Let's see, JD at yourmobiletrader.com. And if you're looking for an options class, Maurice Jackson and I have our options class on September 23rd through the 25th, and it's going to be 3 days, and we say it's an hour each night, but that's the minimum. But it's not going to wear you down. It's going to be right to the point. And the idea is to have you be able to walk away from that class and get into an option and make your own options trade. But we break down the option is the easy part. The hard part is like, okay, what's DraftKings going to do in 30 days? What's the trend? And can you draw your trend lines? Can you draw? We go over that. And the idea is that we have only 10 students, so it's not going to be we're going to send you to, hey, look at 50 videos on your own. It's tailor made for the individual. I mean, you do it in that group, but if you ask questions, it's breakout sessions. Okay, bam, and it's guaranteed for me. I'm not saying you're gonna make $1 million, but you're gonna walk out of there and be able to work on making your money back for that course. You're not going to put your money into the wrong option. Well, it's going to fall into your hands of your own psychology because once we learn the techniques, we're fighting ourselves in the market. The market is going to do what it does. We can't complain about, hey, it's manipulation. So what? If you see it's manipulation, short that sucker. If you see that, oh, Trump's tweeting his friends, well, if you see he's tweeting his friends, get a call. If you really think that they're setting this up and sending signals, if you pick up on a signal, you back test it. Hey, on July 14th, he put this tweet out. You go to on demand, boom, and you see what the market did on that date. You can go back in time and do that if you have the time to do it. But I guarantee you guys, you're gonna walk out of that class and with a lot more confidence, and you'll be ready to roll. So yeah, there's a cost for that 3-day training. What's up, AM? Email me. Let's see what I have. It's I'm not gonna misquote it. I'll put it in the group, or I'll email it to you if you can email me. But yeah, there's a cost associated with it because it's. But if you don't want that, if you can't, if it's not something for you, there's a lot of videos in the Stock Scouts group that, I mean, I got like 100 hours on my YouTube page that can walk you through quite a few. Let me I'll put the link to the videos for you. It might be a good video. It'll walk you through a great deal of information. Let's put this link in. And so sometimes you don't need a course, but a lot of times it's like if you have a lot of information, it's fragmented, and you need a little guidance, and that's all that I'm looking to do with that. And we go here's a YouTube link, but we do a Zoom call every Friday, the market wrap up with JDMO, and we walk through charts and things like that. So as you put it together, you know, it's all out there. A lot of the information's out there, but then sometimes I don't learn a certain way. I had to pay for a mentor to fill in the gaps where I was missing. You know, I picked up on like, hey man, that chart looks like that's going down. Let me buy this option. And I would just buy an option on Apple, and that thing would go down, and I would just sell it. I'm like, I lost money. And then a day later it goes up to where I was like, and just the mechanics of the trade, I didn't understand, and what I really didn't understand was support and resistance, and that's paramount. That's one of the first things, we talk about, and we talk about the why. Know your why, know the reason you got into it, and know how long you want to get in. Is it long-term trade, or you just getting into a buy and hold, or you going to do this for 2 weeks because
Are
somebody
we
put it
getting
in
into
Facebook?
affirmations?
Huh? Get to the affirmations?
Are we getting into affirmations? Because
Yeah. Well, you know what? Yeah, not tonight, but I might do that in the morning. I might
Okay.
do that. You know what? When I
I
open
might
it,
catch you in the morning. But
yeah.
I can tell you, like, I've been on your calls for a couple of weeks now, and you're definitely the truth. I
Appreciate
love
that.
how you support people and how you just give abundantly.
Wow.
They're the truth. So,
Thank you, Sean. I appreciate
definitely
that.
look them up for sure.
Well, guys, if y'all have questions, just email me. I'll find the answer. If I don't have it, I'll track it down. If you have questions, just and go to the Stock Scouts. There's a lot of stuff in there, and it takes time. But the idea is you want to stop losing money because the market's going to take tuition. It took tuition from me this past week, and it just a couple of foolish moves, but that Recovery Act is in play, on certain things. But I love being in the market, and so I thank y'all for coming out tonight. I'll put the recording in this group or in the Stock Scouts, and so we'll be there, man. I'll see, and I open the trading room every day, guys. Well, I say every day. I'm doing it tomorrow. I'm gonna try to be every day, but I open it up and we just, I play some music before we get going. And then once the market kind of gets right to the open, we'll talk about what we're looking at for the day. So we got Sean, we got Crystal Flames, who else? AM. Hey, KA there or CA there. We got Devon Brown, Prez, Kadeen. What's up, Lillian Tolbert, Mo Parks, Tasha Jordan, Sandra Small, excuse me. I like putting S's on stuff, Walmart's. But yeah, that's gonna be a wrap, guys. My email is in there. Just email me, and I'm gonna post aloha from Hawaii. Oh, okay, aloha and mahalo. I hope I said that right. Yeah, I have an aunt from Samoa. Okay. All right, guys. I'm gonna be out, and y'all take care. Have a great night. Be safe, please.
Be well.
Okay.
All right,
Good
you too.
night.
All right.
Hey, Sean, thank you.
Guys, take it easy.
Is that Colin? All right, man. All right, Mo.
Yep.
Be safe. Always say be safe, and I can never end the Zoom. There we go.